Hello and welcome to Torah Tuesday. This week our Torah portion is Parshat Beshalach, the famous portion recounting the journey of the Israelites from slavery into freedom. And in the midst of this Torah portion is perhaps the most famous poetry, the most famous Hebrew shirah that we can find in the Torah, one of the oldest parts of the Torah, Shirat Hayam, the song at the sea. And when we look at the scroll of the Torah, we can tell that there's something special and unique about these very words, these words of poetry and song. For while the other panels of the Torah are written in prose, in blocks of words and sentences, the words of Shirat Hayam, the words of Parshat Beshalach, appear as poetry in beautiful script, laid out in a unique way. Although there are no pictures or drawings in the Torah, these words of Parshat Beshalach, in fact, the Song of the Sea, appear as almost an image, a visual that helps us to feel what the Israelites must have felt as they journeyed from Egypt, from slavery, where they had built and created for the Egyptians, to the shores of the sea, where they became Am Yisrael on the shores of the sea. And in that moment of truth and in faith, they were released from slavery and into the embrace and the faith of God. In these very words, we read the famous passage, Mi chamocha ba'elim Adonai, mi kamocha nedar ba'kodesh, norati lo tosefele, norati lo tosefele. Who is like you, God, among all the gods that are worshipped? Who is like you, awe-inspiring, filled with holiness, working wonders? In these words of Torah, in Parshat Beshalach and Shirat Hayam, we find the words of liturgy that remind us of our faith and our hope, ever renewed in every generation, the possibility of redemption. And at the very bottom of this passage in Shirat Hayam, with each line of the text laid in a very special manner, one piece of text laid upon the next, as bricks are laid upon bricks. At the very bottom we find the words Hayam, the sea, and in the middle of the sea, Bennett Israel, the children of Israel, walking on the dry ground, in the midst of Hayam, the sea. As if the writers of the Torah, the scribes who create these beautiful scrolls, want us to feel that sense of connectedness to the visual moment, that moment when the Israelites entered in their greatest moment of faith, the unknown, the sea, and the sea split. There the children of Israel walked in the midst of the dry ground, surrounded on each side by sea. In many ways, that's the story of each of us, Parshat Beshalach tells us. We leave the most narrow places when we feel constricted with what oppresses us, with slavery, with our difficult moments in our lives, with the sense of waters piled up on each side of us, but we find our path through the dry ground to a moment of faith and of truth and of hope and of life. Parshat Beshalach, in this beautiful passage of the Song of the Sea, reminds us that this is a possibility for all of us. All of us can find redemption. All of us can find hope. We hope that the lesson of Parshat Beshalach remains with us this week and every week. We wish everyone those moments of blessing.